Welcome and thank you for joining us on episode 2 of Saber Sundays. This episode we are going to look at one of the first two lightsabers that we actually see if we look chronologically, starting with episode 1, and that being Obi-Wan's. Would love to be able to do one for Qui-Gon Jinn, which is the other one that we see, but unfortunately at this point Disney has not released a Qui-Gon Jinn legacy lightsaber for us to be able to have. So we start out with Obi-Wan's. Now, Obi-Wan had 3 different lightsabers throughout his history, I guess you could say, that he made, and not really taking into consideration when he actually had Anakin's after the end of episode 3, when he won it in that battle and took it from then Darth Vader. So let's go ahead and take a look here at what I'm referring to and show you with a graphic what exactly I mean by his 3 different. So the first saber that we're going to look at is going to be the one right here, which is the one that is offered by Disney as a legacy lightsaber. Now, this is the first saber that he had with a blue plasma blade, and the hilt is very similar to that of Qui-Gon. You kind of notice that the black, as far as the handle, that we'll look at here in just a few minutes. He has this particular saber up until the battle with Darth Maul, where it gets kicked into the deep shaft in Naboo, where Darth Maul later ends up falling into after Obi-Wan uses Qui-Gon's saber basically to split him in half. He then constructed a new blue-bladed lightsaber with a very similar design, which is the one that we have here in the middle. There's a slight variation to this one compared to the original one. I'll get into that when we look at it a little bit closer. But then after that, he then, once reaching the Master Jedi rank, he then crafts his 3rd saber, which is the one on the end over here. This saber he had up until the point where he sacrifices his life aboard the Death Star, allowing him to be struck down by Darth Vader. So basically Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, along with Leia and Chewbacca, could escape. And then, that saber then is left there on the Death Star. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look here. So this is the actual box that it comes in. It's got the Jedi logo on the front here. All the boxes are pretty much about the same. They're all about the same size, just like this, except for some of the ones that we'll look at later dates. The boxes are a little bit deeper, this way, because, it has 2 hilts or has some extra parts or something like that in it. But just like all the others, you got your logo button here on the front that pops open so that you can actually see the saber. I'll go ahead and take this saber out. Now, this saber here is actually believed just about the lightest saber that Disney has produced. This one here coming in at just under 13 ounces compared to the Anakin one that we looked at episode 1 was a little over 2 pounds, which was surprising. I didn't realize this one here was as light as it is until I actually weighed it to see. The only one that comes close to this as far as just feeling weight, and we'll actually get a weight on that when I do the reviews on it, I believe is going to be the Shoto, or the smaller of the 2 sabers that Ahsoka has in the Clone Wars. The 2 that she has there that are very similar to each other, one being smaller, I believe that one is going to be a little bit lighter than this one here. I believe part of the reason why this one here is so light is because it's mostly, this is mostly aluminum and plastic, so there's not a lot of weight to it, but as a result it feels really good in the hand. It's light, it feels easy to maneuver and move around. So I believe that you know, compared to the weight of some of the other ones, for instance, your Savi sabers, the Savis, these come in, I think, right at about 3 pounds, as far as the actual weight to it. Matter of fact, that one that I showed you was actually in one of the display chassis that I make. This one here is got the actual Disney chassis in it. Let's see what this one here actually weighs, just out of curiosity. So this one here with the scrap, and I'm pretty sure that all the scrap's going to be a little different as far as weight wise. This is just over 2 pounds. It's 2 pounds and 0.9 ounces. Just the scrap for this one here is 2 pounds and 1.4 ounces. So if you added the chassis into it, it'd be about a little over 2, and probably 2 pounds 3 ounces. So it's a little bit heavier. It's actually probably about the same weight as the Anakin sitting right there. That one there weighs about, I think it's right at 2 pounds and almost 14 ounces, I believe. But anyway, well, with this one here, looking at it, like I was saying, the biggest difference between this version, which is the one that gets kicked down the deep shaft that Maul goes down in, the second one that he crafts that we actually see later on, this particular knob is completely red, like this one here. Kind of show you what I'm talking about. If you look at the graphic on here, you'll notice, looking at the knobs, let me turn it here, on, where's it at? This one here, it looks like it's got 2 red knobs on it. If we turn it the same way, holding it the same way, you'll kind of see, turn it this way. It's kind of hard when you're looking at yourself on your screen. This knob here doesn't look like it has just a little red gem look on it. The whole knob actually looks to be more red in that image. Now, I could be wrong. It could be just the way I'm seeing the image on there. But that's the only real distinct difference I can see between the two designs. And this comes directly from StarWars.com from Disney. So, looking at it here, you get your on and off switch for it, and unlike your Savi's hilts, when you flip the switch, there's no sound on these. Your Savi's hilts, I don't remember if I have batteries in this one, and no, I took batteries out of that. They have the activation sound that you can actually hear. These do not have the activation sound. Speaking of batteries, your battery location in this one here is going to be at the end down here. You unscrew your pommel off the end. Your battery compartment comes out, or the carriage. It does take AAA batteries on these. Some of the Sabers take AA batteries. Let's get that graphic out of the way there so you can see better. There we go. Some of them take AAAs, some take AAs. This particular one, I believe because of sizing, it does take AA batteries. It does have a sleeve on this one here that actually screws in on the secure channel that's there. You pull the sleeve off, and then you've got your batteries underneath it, and I believe that's pretty much done this way, so that way it gets a nice snug fit as you insert it into the bottom of the hilt. Now you'll notice that as I'm trying to put it in, it doesn't slide all the way in, and that's because there's actually a notch in there that little channel goes in, so you will need to turn it and spin it until you actually get it to seat in. You do have your speaker holes. If you can see, try to get it reflected on there so you can see it. The speaker holes on the bottom there, which project very nicely through the pommel. You get very good audio coming out of this compared to some of the other ones that you may not get as much audio out of. So your sounds are very nice coming out of these. You go to use it with a blade, just make sure you do pull off your end cap, because there is a dust cap on the end of it. I have heard of people trying to force a blade in there and not being able to get it all the way in, mainly because that cap's in. So make sure you take your cap out. We'll go ahead and look here. Putting in our Disney blade. This one I'm just using the 27-inch blade, or 26-inch blade that they have, because, you know, limited space here and everything. But you got your small and large metal tabs on there that line up with the small and large notches inside, and it's a little snug going in. You get your activation sound. Now, one of the things I will tell you is your legacy sabers, when you put your blade in, turns counterclockwise. Your Savis, when you put it in, turn clockwise. Little tidbit there, I did not realize with these until after I started playing with it and actually kind of noticed that. So, with that, let's go ahead and ignite it. And you do get your blue blade. Now, this is a stable blade. There's no pulsation or anything like that. You do get a nice sound. You get a little bit of motion capturing with it. I mean, it's not like overly sensitive like your Profi board blades, or Profi board sabers that are, you know, custom made ones. They tend to be a lot more sensitive to your movement. I've seen it where you just do this little bit and you get all sorts of sound, which is great. I'm sure if Disney tried to make these more sensitive with like the Profi style blades, the prices would go up tremendously on these. So, you know, they're trying to keep it still to a budget that visitors can afford. You do get your flash, something like a yellowish color that flashes on this particular blade. So all in all, I mean, it's not bad. I will say that I do prefer, with dealing with a legacy or with a Savis, if you have the ability to get a Jaymoo blade, definitely check those out. I'll put the link in the description. I think I put it on on episode 1 as well. I like that blade a lot better. The lighting is more streamlined. You probably can't see it on video, but you can definitely see almost like diamond shaping going through the blade all the way down, because of the spacing of the LEDs. There's nowhere near as many LEDs inside these blades as what you would get in a NeoPixel, or in this case a Jaymoo blade. For those of you who don't know, if you haven't watched my video on the Jaymoo blades yet, it basically gives you NeoPixel quality lighting and performance in a blade that is comparable or compatible with your Disney Legacy lightsabers, without having, and mine is very snug, without having to pay, you know, $500 or $600 to do the upgrade. And this is the Jaymoo blade itself, and I'll show you here the biggest difference between them. For those of you who haven't seen my video yet, just the ignition side of it is so much better, and I'm sure you can probably see with the reflection on me, you get the pulsation on there. Now you can get a bunch of different profiles. This is the one that I chose to be my default profile for the blue, and there's a much different smoothness of the lights on there compared to the Disney blade. This blade does retail for about $270. With 8 profiles, you can get it for right at $300. With 12 profiles that you can choose from, you can customize it as you want. It is substantially more expensive than your Galaxy's Edge blades, that are 45 and I believe 55 respectively, depending on which length you get, 26, 31, or 36-inch blades. Now, I will say that the prices for the Legacy Hilts have gone up again. So I believe this particular saber now would run you before tax about 150 to 160, because they've done another price bump on these. I believe this one was originally this year, the beginning of the year, going for 139, I believe, went up to 149, or was it? Now it's like 159 or something like that. But they have increased by an additional $10 for any of the lightsabers at this point from Disney. And that was, I want to say that was done at the beginning of October 2021. So, with that, if you are a collector like myself, you want to be able to get some officially licensed lightsabers from Disney for Star Wars. These are a good budget style lightsaber to get. I will say that there's a lot of custom built sabers out there that you can get from, like Saber Forge and some of the other well-known saber companies out there, but you're going to pay a substantial amount of money more, mainly because you are going with NeoPixels. In most cases, you are getting a Profi board, so the internals are much higher quality than what Disney is doing. So these are good entry-level sabers, good entry-level hilts. Again, they are licensed. This particular one, I don't know if you'll be able to see or not. You kind of see it a little bit, but on the end here, they actually have the licensing information on there, saying it from Lucasfilms Limited, Disney, and then I guess it's the model number that they have on it. But anyway, I would love for you guys, if you can, comment. Let me know what you think about the Legacy lightsaber Obi-Wan, and let's chat about it. I want to hear what you guys have to say about it, what you think, if you like it, if you dislike it, and why. I would love to hear why you like or dislike the hilt itself, so that way we can kind of talk about some things and go from there. But I do appreciate you guys showing up and staying around watching it. I hope you've enjoyed episode 2 of Saber Sundays, and I look forward to doing more in the future. So, as always, may the Force be with you.